Welcome back to HKEXVoice, our podcast series featuring insights from senior executives and industry experts on Hong Kong's financial markets. My name is 𝗙gie𝗹𝗹ល់from Corporate Communications, and I will be your host today. HKEX has seen its derivatives market, which includes futures and options, grow from strength to strength. Average daily volumes saw a new record high in the first half of 2024. To complement the growth trajectory of our derivatives market, HKEX is rolling out two new products, namely the weekly stock options as well as the weekly Hang Seng Tech Index options, to further give investors a wider array of choices to manage risks. And joining us today is David Lutz, Senior Vice President of Equities Product Development. David's work primarily focuses on derivatives product and market development. David, glad to have you with us.
Thank you, Thomas. It's nice to be here.
David, could you please give us perhaps a quick overview of the derivatives market in its current state?
Sure, Thomas. The equity derivatives market here at HKEX is very strong right now. As you mentioned, we're on track for a record year. In those equity derivatives, our volumes are up 5.5% to about 1.38 million contracts traded per day. And when we talk about equity derivatives at HKEX, we're really focused on three important product segments. First, we have those Hang Seng flagships. So that's the Hang Seng Index, the Hang Seng China Enterprises Index, and Hang Seng Tech, which are the core indices for the Hong Kong market. We also have a very large single stock derivatives market. And finally, we have the MSCI product, an important strategic set of contracts for us. So driving that growth to a new record high this year, there are four big trends that are helping us hit these new records and help grow the market. Number one, it's the growth of the Hang Seng Tech derivatives, really becoming that third flagship product for the Hong Kong market. Second, it's the growth of our physically settled options on futures market, all of which are experiencing record years. Number three, it's our stock options, where the stock options market is also on track for record year. And fourth, it's the growth of weekly index options.
So weekly index options, what are some products we've launched in the space?
So we introduced weekly index options back in 2019 with the launch of the HSI and HSCEI weekly index options. And they're both experiencing really strong growth. HSCEI volumes are up 47% year to date. And for HSI, it's up 20%, but importantly, it now has a 35% market share of HSI options that are traded. So that means that of all the HSI options that are traded here in Hong Kong across all the different option types, 35% of those are in the weekly format for the option.
And why are weekly options so popular amongst investors?
Well, Thomas, before I answer that question, we like all of our option contracts. We have both short-term options and also much longer-term option contracts. And the different times to maturity will have different risk profiles. So participants should use the option that really fits their investment, risk management objectives most effectively. But for many participants, we find that they're using these short-dated options. And the reason for this is that time matters. And the less time you have to expiry for an option, the cheaper the premium becomes. Whereas the more time to maturity for an option, the more expensive the premium becomes. So why does this matter? Let's look at three different use cases to explore this a little bit further. The first is efficiency. So with efficiency, if you want to take a directional position in the market, you think the market will go up, and therefore you want to buy a call, or you think the market will go down, so you want to buy a put. You have to buy the option. In order to get the best payout with that, you want to have the least outlay on your option premium to get that return. And like what we just said before, for the short-dated options, it's cheaper premiums, therefore you'd get a better return and have more efficiency with that trade if you use a short-dated option. So that's number one. Number two comes to precision. And for this example, let's look at a case study where you're actually already long the underlying stock or the underlying index, and you want to protect your position. You want to buy a put option. Perhaps there's an economic figure or an earnings announcement coming out. So in order to do this, if you have that weekly option, you can be precise and target the exact week of that earnings announcement or that economic figure. Whereas if you have to do that with a monthly option, you might be paying for a lot more time for protection than it's actually relevant for you for that specific event that you're concerned about. That's number two. And number 3, we'll look at a case study where you're long, again, the underlying index or the stock, and you want to earn yield on that investment by selling options against it. If you have the monthly option, you really just can sell the option once a month. But with the weekly options, you have more flexibility. So you can sell the option the first week, the second week to get that yield. Maybe on the third week, you feel the risk profile is too high, so you want to sit out of the market. Then you'll get back in on the fourth week. So you have that additional flexibility with weekly options that you don't necessarily have with the monthly options. So those 3 things we just talked about, efficiency, precision, and flexibility, are really helping drive the growth of short-dated options, both here in Hong Kong and globally.
Very clear explanation. Thank you, David. And we've just launched and went live, actually, our weekly Hang Seng TEX index options. And we have some more exciting products coming up soon. Could you please share some insights on that?
Indeed. So in early September, we introduced the weekly Hang Seng TEX options to the market. Hang Seng TEX derivatives are growing well in Hong Kong. The monthly options are up 65% in terms of their volume so far this year. And by adding weekly options, we're giving investors that additional risk management tool with that efficiency, precision, and flexibility to help grow Hang Seng TEX derivatives to the next level. So we're very excited with this one. The other product that we're launching in November this year is weekly stock options. We're becoming one of the first markets in the region to offer stock options that expire on a weekly basis. And we'll be doing this for some of the important financial institutions here we have here in Hong Kong, such as HSBC, HKEX, and Ping An Insurance, and also some of the companies that have helped to transform Hong Kong into Asia's tech powerhouse, including Tencent, Alibaba, Meituan, BYD, JD.com, Baidu, and Kuaishou.
And in your conversations with market participants, how have they responded with our short-dated options products?
Market participants are excited for these product launches. We've gotten very positive feedback from them. They're excited to support the launch of both weekly Hang Seng TEX options and the weekly stock options. We also have had great support from our market makers, where we have a great set of global market makers that have come here to help provide competitive liquidity for the launch of these contracts. The other piece of feedback we've gotten is our questions about we'll be expanding the stock option scope for the weekly stock options. We're going to carefully consider this. We think we don't want to get into it too quickly, where we could fragment liquidity across monthly and weekly contracts. But based on market feedback and as we see how the first tranche of weekly stock options, how they perform, then we'll be open to adding more weekly stock option expiries in the future.
Seems like a lot of investor interest. And you've said before that it's important to have a good market structure for a derivatives market to succeed and grow. What are some recent market enhancements that we've done to ensure the vibrancy and growth of derivatives here in Hong Kong?
So when we talk about building a great derivatives market here in Hong Kong and making Hong Kong a risk management center, it's important to have, number 1, a large, diverse group of participants. Number 2, trading a compelling set of products. On 3rd, an efficient platform. And we think that the introduction of these short-dated options and expansion of that short-dated option offering really feeds into that second pillar of having that compelling group of products that people really, really want to trade. So that's very exciting for us. But in terms of having a great platform with good market structure, we've also made important changes to our position limit regime recently. In December 2023, we increased the maximum position limit for single stock options from 150,000 to 250,000 contracts. That's a material change that really helps the liquidity develop in the stock options market. We're also adding things like severe weather trading to the market. If you have a short-dated option that only is going to expire in a week from now, and you have the typhoon interrupt trading for 1 or 2 days, that has a really big impact on the market. So being able to deterministically keep the market open for that short-dated option is really important for the health and continued success of the market. And finally, it's important to have a great technical platform. We have a good platform now that we're enhancing for the short-dated options, and we're making that platform, we're taking to the next level with the investment in ODP in the years ahead. So we're very excited with the platform we have now, what we're doing to enhance it, and how that supports the overall development of this Hong Kong derivatives market ecosystem.
David, thank you for joining us on this episode and explaining the ins and outs of the derivatives markets so eloquently.
Thank you, Thomas.
We look forward to the release of the new products eagerly. Thank you for tuning in into this episode of HKEXVoice. Check out our other episodes on our social media channels. For more information on HKEX and our markets, please visit our website at hkex.com.hk. Catch us on the next episode.